Okay, so the question I get asked more than anything in this world is, how do you buy a house? How do you buy a home?
How do you buy a home?
So like I found this home on Zillow. Okay, and like I totally get it. There's really not a lot of like easy, concise, digestible information out there because even when I was first trying to learn the process, I found it difficult to like find the answer. Just like what is the process quickly. So I'm going to reference my home buying one-on-one workbook. I wrote this myself for my first-time home buyers to break down the process for them and give them something where they can really feel like they're diving into it and understand the process. I'm going to reference page 5, a quick look at the process, and just kind of reference that. So the preliminary things you want to do are find a realtor, find a loan officer. And I'm going to make you some videos on the best ways to go about that. And I'm going to make videos that break down each of these steps and really go in depth on them. The purpose of this video is just to give you an overview so you feel prepared. So first thing is going to be to get pre-approved. Because when you submit an offer, you're going to need to submit your pre-approval letter to be considered. So if you go out and you find the house and we're waiting for your pre-approval letter, we're waiting for you to send your documents to the lender, you might miss out on it because somebody who already took care of those things going ahead and submitting their offer with their pre-approval already. So to be as competitive, to be as quick, to be as cutting edge, you want to go ahead and get that done. So after we have your pre-approval letter, then we can do the fun part. It's the house hunting. It's your HGTV dream. It's everything you think buying a house is. We'll go out and we'll look at as many as you like. If you're my client, we'll get together first and we'll talk about what's important to you. What are your deal breakers? What are your musts? Where are we going to find it? And something that I think is glossed over a lot is how are you going to know that you found it? Because in a lot of cases, you might be looking at, for instance, if you're here in Houston and you want to live in Rice Military, cool. You know, you're looking for a townhome. That's what we know. But how will we know when we found the one? If you want to go out to a suburban community, especially if it's a master plan community and they have model floor plans and everything's like really kind of the same, how are you going to know when you found it? So kind of prioritizing that, we'll figure that out and we'll find the one. After we have found the house for you, we'll move on to step number 3. So the next step is going to be to make an offer, and we'll do that on an actual contract. We'll submit it to the seller, and the seller can respond in 3 ways. They can accept our offer as is, they can counter our offer by asking us to change any of the terms, and they can reject our offer. Technically, there's a 4th response. They could just not respond, and that would be a rejection of our offer. A very passive-aggressive one, though. And from there, after we have accepted an offer, you need to do 2 things pretty quickly. 1, you need to write your option check. I'm going to get to that in a moment, so I'm going to just say all that for right now. And the second thing you need to do is write your earnest money check. So earnest money is typically going to be 1 to 3% of the purchase price. So if you're buying a $350,000 home, you need to write a $3,500 check if you're giving 1% earnest money. It's technically negotiable. It's going to be 1 to 3%, and here in my market, it's most common is 1%. As you get into kind of more higher end luxury, that percentage can increase, and it's really a negotiating factor. It applies to your down payment. So if you were battling offers on a house and you were competing against someone, you could up your earnest money and say, this is how serious I am. I'm willing to risk this money on the line. So that's one reason why you might do that. And after that is done, then you'll be in your option period. So your option period starts the day after the contract is executed. That means signed by both parties. And your option money is due in my market in 3 days. I think it's due in 3 days all over the country, but to be honest, I'm only an expert on Texas. And so your option period is defined as the unrestricted right to terminate on the property for any reason at all. And it has to be based on the verbiage in our contract that it's for a nominal fee. So typically that is somewhere between $100 and $250 here in my market. And it depends, and it's negotiable, and so is the time period. So the most common time periods I see are 7 to 10 days. I've seen 5 days, I've even heard of 3 days, and I've heard of 14 days. So that's all negotiable, that all depends. 7 days is really the most appropriate amount of time in most cases, in my opinion, and you can ask to extend it. The seller may or may not agree to extend it, but it's a possibility. So what you want to be doing during your option period is getting your inspection. An inspection is not required, but if you're my client and you don't want to get an inspection, I will absolutely make you sign a piece of paper that says you didn't want to get an inspection, but I told you to do it. And chances are any realtor you find is going to do that because it just protects you. If you need any special inspections, maybe you want an AC specialist to come out or a master plumber to come out and check on things, then you can get that done. I always suggest you start shopping for your home insurance. Make sure that the home is going to be insured for the amounts that make sense to you and that you're comfortable with paying. And also, you have to get that settled down the line, so it's just easy to have that done up front. And so during this time, it's called option because you have the option to back out for any reason. And I mean any reason. It can be because you had a bad dream about the property. It can be because a crime happened across the street. It can be because you found something out about it, like whether that's something structural, like, oh my God, it has mold or it has bad foundation, or because you found out somebody you didn't like owned it before. I mean, it could be anything. And it can be nothing at all. It can just be that you found a different house that you like, or I mean, literally anything. What you'll only be out is your option money. That's that nominal fee. You will receive your earnest money back. And what you won't receive is anything you paid to have done. So any inspections you had done would obviously, you would not get that money back because you paid for the service and the service was rendered. So sometimes people will ask me, why don't I just put, all these houses under contract and see? Well, because it ends up costing quite a bit between the option money and any inspections you want done. And it's really not a nice thing to do, to take somebody's property off the market if you're not serious about it. So, before your option period ends, if you are moving forward, you have opportunities to renegotiate. So say you found out that there is a leak. You say, seller, I need you to fix this. Or seller, I'm going to go ahead and fix it, but please give me X amount of money to get that done. And so you negotiate back and forth and come to agreement, and then bam, you're done. So after your option period, we're going to be in our due diligence period. This is really kind of an easy phase for you. All you need to do is not buy anything.
All you need to do is not buy anything. All you need to do is not buy anything. All you need to do is not buy anything.
So you basically just don't want to screw up this loan. If you do anything that would affect your credit, such as financing new furniture, buying a new car, getting engaged and buying somebody a diamond ring, you can get engaged, just don't buy a ring or any jewelry of any kind. Or that would affect your debt to income ratio. So that's why those things are kind of no-nos. And it seems a little counterintuitive to a lot of people. They're like, wait, but I'm gonna own this home on, in 3 weeks, and it doesn't have a fridge, and I'm not gonna have a fridge. And I'm like, go get a mini fridge, go borrow one, do not buy one, because it has the potential for your loan to fall through. So that's a conversation you want to have with your lender and see if it's going to affect anything, because it might not. But as a safety rule, if you're my client, I will be so mad at you if you go buy something. I had somebody call me one time and she said, I'm at Home Depot, I'm getting a fridge. How wide was it again? And I was like, do not buy the fridge. I swear to God, if you buy that fridge, we're done. And I was kind of joking. We had a healthy relationship, but it's that serious. And she called me later. She said she went back into Home Depot and told the guy what I said. And he was like, oh yeah, no, if you're buying a house, you can't buy a fridge. Come back next week, because she was closing in just a few days. So that's a real thing. And it's just something that you really should talk to your lender about. But generally during this due diligence period, you're chilling. Occasionally you'll sign some papers from either your lender or the title company, but they're the ones doing the work right now. So your lender is going to be getting the appraisal done. The appraisal is a third party that comes in and gives their opinion of value on the property so that the bank knows that this is a good investment. All that has to happen is that the appraiser has to give the value of the home to meet or go over what your agreed contract price is. If that doesn't happen, then you guys have got to renegotiate, and I'll make a deep diving video for that another time. But generally, things should go smooth and you should be good to go. The title company is going to be doing a survey if necessary, if their seller doesn't already have one for you. And that would just be to make sure like the neighbor's fence isn't on your property, your fence isn't on the neighbor's property. And if that is the case, is it going to be okay or not? Is there already an agreement in place about this? They also are going to be making sure that there are no liens against the property, because those would convey with the property, meaning if you bought a property and it had common one I see is an HOA lien, okay? Some unpaid HOA dues. Those are attached to the property, and you bought the property, you bought the debt, and you would owe it. So your title company is going to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. So we love title companies. That's a good thing that they do. And if they were to find something, then more than likely they would settle it out of the seller's profits, their net profit from the sale, you buying their home, settle it, and then you would walk in scot clean. So we like that they do that. We love title companies. If there are any other requests, depending on your loan type, you might have to do something like a termite inspection or just various things that certain loans require. Your lender will handle the wrangling of all of that until we hear the 3 most beautiful words there are: clear to close. So after we have our clear to close, then we'll do our final walkthrough. We'll make sure that anything you ask the seller to do, paint a wall, fix the roof, whatever, that they've actually done it. If there was anything to be done, and we're gonna make sure that like a tree didn't fall in the house and you don't have a house anymore, because that would be devastating, right? If you bought this house that like something happened to. So that's what we're going to do with the final walkthrough. And then we'll go and we'll close. And closing, y'all, I got to tell you, it's 2 things at once. It's so exciting because you're a homeowner, and it's so boring because you just sign papers. I swear. So you're going to sign a stack of papers like ain't this big. And it's going to be disclosures, releases of liabilities, transfers of ownerships, transfer of funds, and signing. And then you'll get some keys at the end. That's basically the process. To summarize, get pre-approved, find a house, put in an offer, go through option, wait through due diligence, close. That's the simple way to break it down. And I'm really excited about making this video for you. I can't wait to make some more videos and go take a deeper look into each steps of these and so many other pieces of the process. So if you could help me out by giving me any amount of feedback that you have, whether it's liking this video, commenting on this video, and like, please subscribe and do all the things, and let me know if this is helpful so that I can be making the right kind of content for you going forward. And yeah, that's about it. Go tell somebody you love that you love them. Go tell somebody who inspires you they inspire you, and go tell yourself that you're amazing, because you are. Your body's literally amazing. So even if you reject your body, you'd still be amazing. And sometimes that's the reminder I need. So go be amazing, go love, go be inspired. I'm Chelsea, I'm your realtor. I'm in Houston. If you're here in Houston, I would love to help you. If you're not here in Houston, I might know somebody that can help you all over the country. I'm part of several networks of the top premier realtors in the country, and I've got the best resources. So yeah, thanks for watching. Happy house hunting. Go get your real estate goals and check out chelsea-realtor.com. I have a ton of resources.
While you're looking up real estate, make sure to check out my website, chelsea-realtor.com. I have free workbooks for buyers, sellers, and even renters. My calculators are accurate, easy to understand, and super helpful. You can contact me by using the form on the contact page or clicking the messenger icon in the bottom right. I would love to help you.